Good morning, students. Welcome to chemistry class. We are doing separation techniques, and today we'll do the two types which are being left. These are the first is crystallization. Students, crystallization is a chemical solid liquid separation technique in which mass transfer of solute from liquid solution to a pure solid. It means crystals are formed. So, crystallization is a process by which a impure compound is converted into crystals. Now, what are crystals, students? Crystals are the purest form of substances having definite geometrical shapes. You can see these are some pictures showing you the crystals of different substances, right? So, crystallization is a technique by which a impure substance can be converted into crystal. It means in its pure state. Now, how we can convert this? What is the procedure behind it? Pour the solution. For example, we'll take a substance copper sulfate and we want to make its crystal. We'll pour the solution into the evaporating disk, heat the solution to evaporate away the solvent until some solid starts to appear or a saturated solution is being obtained. Leave the solution to cool after some times, and on cooling crystals, the solute that can no longer dissolve in the solution will be deposited as crystals. Now, how can we check that crystals has been formed? Solution will see a thick layer on the glass rod while we are stirring the solution, because when we pour the solution, it start heating the solution. So what happened, we'll stir the solution with the help of glass rod, and after sometimes we blow the glass rod and we'll see that the thick layer is being formed. It means the crystallization point has reached. Now we'll filter the mixture to collect the crystals which will be a residue. Right, students? In this way, we can separate out the impurities from a pure substance, or we can convert a impure substance into a pure substance that is in the form of crystals. And this process is known as crystallization. And where it is being applied, this technique, what are the applications of crystallization means? The salt that we get from seawater contain a number of impurities. So to remove these impurities, the process of crystallization is used. Second, crystallization can be used to obtain the pure alum. Alum is basically known as fitkery or potassium nitrate from impure samples. So if there is a substance having impurities in it, for that substance, we can use this technique known as crystallization. One thing more, students, just see, I'll show you the process first of all. Here, the first step, we have to pour the liquid. We have to dissolve the liquid. We have to dissolve the salt to make it liquid. That is a saturated solution. After that, we'll heat the solution. And the third process will filter that solution, right? And make the crystals. Now, what are the advantages of crystallization over evaporation? No doubt, crystallization is a better technique than evaporation to purify a solid, because during evaporation, the solution is heated to dryness. But during this heat treatment, some solid may decompose or some solid like sugar may get charred. But evaporation, but for both evaporation and crystallization, the solution of impure solid is prepared in water or any other suitable solvent, students. Now, how it is better? How crystallization is better? Because in crystallization, no contamination is left behind. It means the solution is allowed to stand for the crystallization. Crystals of pure solid separate out, leaving the impurities in the solution. It will not, it will completely separate out. It will not form a layer on it, or it will not decompose on it. A complete separation occurs in crystallization, but it will not occur in evaporation, right? That's why there are some advantages of crystallization over evaporation. Now the next is purification of drinking water, students. You know that our source of drinking water is usually rivers or lakes. And the rivers and the lakes, they contain many dissolved and suspended solid colloidal clay impurities, harmful bacteria, and many more things. And you know that drinking water supplies to our home from the waterworks and how it is being purified. So there are following steps. The first step is sedimentation tank, then loading tank, then third is a filtration tank, and the fourth tank is being used as chlorination tank. Here's a diagram showing you the purification. And in India, we have many resources to purify the water, and they are the following tanks which is being used. You can see that. So here is the first step. The first step is firstly the water is kept in a reservoir, and then water goes into sedimentation tank, students. Right? It means the water from the reservoir means river or lake, is first passed through the sedimentation tank. What happened in the sedimentation tank? In sedimentation tank, the solid particles are allowed to settle down. You can see in this picture, right? And here, during this time, many suspended solids settle down at the bottom of tank. The third is a loading tank. After that, water passes through a loading tank in which a suspended particles are allowed to settle again. And what happened? It based upon the density, right? Some particles present in water are of low density and they settle very slowly. To remove such particles, water present from the sedimentation tank is sent to the loading tank, and in loading tank we add some substances. For example, we add alum, as I've already told you about the fitkari, right? Why we add that? Just to remove that suspended particles, because when this substance is being added, the negatively charged particles get neutralized by the positively charged ions present in the alum. And what happened? A colloidal solution is being formed, right? And they will settle down at the bottom, right, students? And then water goes through the filtration tank. As you people know, what do you mean by filtration tank? When water passes through fine sand, some solid or semi-solid, which are left stay between the sand, some dirt which is left stick to the gravel. After this, the process, the water is cleaned, right? So in filtration tank, these insoluble solids, suspended impurities, what they form? They form a three layers, right? At bottom, some gravel, coarse gravels are there, and above that, right, fine gravels, and on the top of the gravel, it is placed a thick layer of fine sand. So after reaching to the filtration tank, the water has to go through these three levels. Last is then water is passed through the chlorination tank. Now, chlorination tank act as a disinfectant, right? When the water passes through the chlorination tank, and you know that chlorine tablets are added to it, and chlorine is sufficient to kill the bacteria in water. And then finally, the water obtained after these above treatments, right, which is free from all the type of impurities, bacteria, and is supplied to our homes for drinking processes. I hope you have understood. If you find any problem, we will discuss in our doubt session. Thank you very much.